El Salvador is an incredibly beautiful country, rich with stunning landscapes, vibrant culture, and some of the warmest people you could ever meet. Yet, even in a nation filled with breathtaking wonders, there are places that feel almost otherworldly. Places where beauty deepens into something quieter, something ancient. Today, we journey to one of those places. As I ride across this magnificent lake, it feels less like a body of water and more like a living memory. An ancient crater that holds the silence of volcanoes, the breath of time, and the reflection of every soul that pauses long enough to listen. Surrounded by emerald hills, volcanic peaks, and waters so impossibly blue they seem painted by myth itself. This is not merely a destination. It is an experience.
Bienvenidos al Lago de Coatepeque.
Before we begin, I'd like to offer my heartfelt thanks to some truly incredible supporters. Carol, Lauda, Terry, Karen, and Menina. Your generosity, encouragement, and unwavering kindness help make these journeys possible, and I am deeply grateful for each of you. Last week's top comment from Rolly deeply touched me. To receive such thoughtful words from someone who has been part of this journey since the very beginning was incredibly meaningful. But seeing it expressed in English, Spanish, and French made it feel beyond extraordinary. It reminded me how powerful authentic storytelling can be, and I truly appreciate the connection we've built along this journey. To everyone who continues to share your thoughts, thank you. I read every comment, and they genuinely mean so much. Please keep them coming. I've started a channel membership. If you're interested, click subscribe and then join for more details. Arriving at Lake Coatepeque requires venturing slightly beyond the familiar, as smooth pavement gradually yields to rugged earth near the water's edge. But by now, such roads feel less like obstacles and more like invitations, because time and again, I found that El Salvador's greatest beauty lies just beyond the main thoroughfares. Here, where towering trees arch overhead to form a living canopy, the journey itself becomes part of the reward. The road narrows, the air shifts, and the landscape unfolds with quiet grandeur. Of course, there are practical lessons to embrace along the way. Like, if the vehicle ahead of you isn't moving too slowly, then it may be wise to let them lead. After all, there's a certain comfort in allowing someone else to discover the speed bumps first. Beyond that, all that remains is to settle in. Turn up your music, take your time, and savor the extraordinary scenery. An endless display of natural splendor offered freely, requiring nothing more than your willingness to notice. Welcome to Cardedeu Residence at Lago de Coatepeque, an exclusive retreat where breathtaking beauty is matched by a sense of quiet seclusion. For those arriving by vehicle, access begins at a gated entrance. A simple honk announces your arrival. It's worth noting that parking is reserved exclusively for overnight guests, as this is not the kind of destination one casually stumbles into without prior arrangements. Lake Coatepeque itself is largely private, its most coveted shorelines accessible primarily through hotels, Airbnbs, or select properties. Without a reservation, access to the lake can be limited, though I've heard that Captain Morgan Hostel offers daily passes for those seeking a more budget-friendly option, particularly popular among backpackers drawn to its social atmosphere. As for me, after thoroughly researching the many accommodations scattered around the lake, including another Cardedeu property on the opposite shore, the residence stood apart for one undeniable reason: the views. Of all the options available, this location offered what appeared to be the most extraordinary panoramas, where lake, volcano, and sky converge in near-perfect harmony. Of course, such beauty does not come inexpensively. The sweeping lake vistas, the shimmering pools, the meticulously designed landscaping, the vibrant blooms in every color, and the cascading hanging gardens all speak to a level of luxury carefully curated to enchant at each turn. Here, the cost of admission is undeniably steep, but when surrounded by such extraordinary elegance, where nature and design intertwine so effortlessly, indulgence begins to feel less like excess and more like a worthy surrender to beauty. Sometimes, the right view is not merely seen, it is experienced. And that experience can be priceless. Here are a few things I wish I'd known before arriving. There is no elevator, so be prepared to carry your luggage up and down the stairs or request assistance and absolutely tip accordingly. Though the lake is stunning, it sits high in the mountains, and the evenings can be surprisingly chilly. The front desk is staffed during the day, but once night falls, the staff depart, leaving the property to operate on a far more self-sufficient rhythm with no immediate in-person support. There is also only one restaurant on site and no room service. Perhaps most importantly, the kitchen closes an hour before the restaurant itself, and once it does, even drinks are no longer available. Much like my stay in Delicias de Concepcion, Lake Coatepeque was intended to be a vacation from my vacation, a chance to slow down, recharge, and perhaps temporarily retire from my ongoing commitment to bringing history and legend to life. However, I may have slightly overshot. If you visit the residence, one thing becomes immediately clear. This is a very tourist-friendly corner of paradise. In fact, unless you're speaking directly to the staff, you're far more likely to hear English than Spanish drifting through the property. For the most part, many guests seem perfectly content to remain within their comfortable linguistic borders. And honestly, I can't entirely blame them. There is something undeniably relaxing about strolling around and effortlessly understanding every conversation happening around you. That said, since I speak more Spanish than many of the other guests, which is laughable, in addition to relaxing lakeside, I find myself offering important survival translations such as revueltos means scrambled. Truly, international diplomacy takes many forms. Everything is almost perfect. I've even made a furry friend. There's just this one little thing.
I'm not sure how much of this the camera is going to pick up or how well you're going to be able to hear me because of the wind, but the wind is crazy right now. Waiting for it to die down, and then I'm going to go out for a boat ride.
The residence offers private boat rides upon request. Simply inquire at the front desk. The experience is priced at $100 for 45 minutes. Though, with the wind moving as forcefully as it is today, that full duration may be more aspirational than realistic. Even now, the lake makes its presence known. My balance is tested, and my enthusiasm slightly tempered by the condition of my constantly bumping rear end. Lake Coatepeque itself is as storied as it is striking. Its name, derived from the Nahuatl language, means hill of snakes. Spanning roughly 10 square miles, the lake reaches depths of about 115 feet on average, plunging to nearly 400 feet in certain areas. It is, in fact, a volcanic caldera, formed over 50,000 years ago through a series of explosive eruptions from a cluster of stratovolcanoes. Even now, it is considered active, with molten forces quietly moving beneath its surface, a constant reminder of what it means to live on the Ring of Fire. Within the lake rests Teopan Island, home to ancient Mayan ruins. Though today, the wind dictates our limits, and certain areas, including the island, remain just out of reach. More than 20,000 people call the surrounding area home, while thousands of visitors arrive each month, drawn by the lake's natural beauty and its reputation as one of El Salvador's premier destinations. Here, adventure and tranquility exist side by side. Kayaking, jet skiing, diving, boating across open water, and exploring the lush, mountainous terrain that frames the lake with trails perfect for hiking and biking. Wildlife flourishes in this environment, with both resident and migratory birds adding life to the landscape, while the surrounding vegetation offers sweeping, panoramic views that feel almost untouched by time. And then, there is the water itself, known to shift between deep blue and vibrant turquoise. Today, it reveals a color so intensely blue, it feels almost unreal. The kind of beauty that doesn't just catch your eye, but holds it. My captain slows briefly, gesturing toward Cardedeu Hotel, the sister property to the residence. It is without question an appealing option for travelers seeking both comfort and value. And yet, I made my choice.
Somebody tells a lie, disrespecting my boundaries, acting like they don't care about me. Yeah. Call it out really early. Let them know that they just can't hurt me. And pretend like it just didn't happen. Know that if I catch you lacking, keep them moving. I'm not gonna be somebody's backup plan. Telling you not asking, don't do that again. Go ahead and leave, but don't come back from it. Listen to me carefully, I'm adamant. Say it with my chest, no, I'm passionate. Waving goodbye while I'm laughing. Behaving like a baby, yeah, you asked for it. You're gonna have to do a little more. Gotta do a little more. See this one before, you know I'm gonna get more. Gonna have to do a little more. Gonna have to do it. Gotta do a little bit more. You're gonna have to do a little more. I've seen this one for sure, and I don't like the way it goes on. Gonna have to do it. Gotta do a little bit more. I said if you don't wanna do it, just don't. I'm making an easy choice. If I've had it with you, I'll go find someone else who's gonna understand. Someone who doesn't play pretend. Show up if I needed them. It doesn't have to be so difficult. Yeah, it's just common sense. I'm not gonna be somebody's backup plan. Telling you not asking, don't do that again. Go ahead and leave, but don't come back from it. Listen to me carefully, I'm adamant. Say it with my chest, no, I'm passionate. Waving goodbye while I'm laughing. Behaving like a baby, yeah, you asked for it. You're gonna have to do a little more. Gotta do a little more. Seen this one before, you know I'm gonna get more. Gonna have to do a little more. Gonna have to do it. Gotta do a little bit more. You're gonna have to do a little more. I've seen this one for sure, you don't like the way it goes on. Do a little bit more. Gotta do a little more. Seen this one before, you know I'm gonna get more. Gonna have to do a little more. Gotta do a little bit more. You're gonna have to do a little more. Seen this one for sure, and I don't like the way it goes on. Gonna have to do it. Gotta do a little bit more. Gotta do a little more. Seen this one before, you know I'm gonna get more. Gonna have to do a little more.
Would you visit Lake Coatepeque? If you have visited, where did you stay? Let me know in the comments. While you're at it, please click the like button. It helps, more than you know. The time has come to bid farewell to my captain and return to the residence, where lakeside luxury awaits. Let me show you why I chose to stay here. The residence cascades gracefully down the mountainside, with parking situated at the top level. The third and fourth floors offer spacious two-bedroom apartments with expansive balconies, while the second floor houses one-bedroom units with more modest, yet still beautiful, private outdoor spaces. Mine is a one-bedroom apartment on the second floor. True to its name, the residence is designed for extended stays, offering the comforts of an apartment rather than a traditional hotel room. Upon entering, you're welcomed into a cozy living area, complete with a futon sofa, flat-screen television, and tasteful wicker decor. There is Wi-Fi And make sure to get the code before the manager leaves. Just beyond is a fully equipped kitchen featuring a table, sink, coffee maker, stove, microwave, full-sized refrigerator, and generous cabinet space. If you plan to stay here, I highly recommend bringing groceries or at least snacks. Once the on-site kitchen closes, dining options become far more limited. While restaurants are available about 15 minutes drive away, the reality is that once you arrive here, surrounded by such beauty, leaving feels almost unthinkable. Past the ample-sized closet lies the ensuite bathroom, though, notably, there is no hot water, which, given the mountain air and the price point, was perhaps my one true surprise. And then, the bedroom. This is the reason why I booked. This is what makes it worth it. A plush, queen-sized bed faces the lake, allowing you to wake each morning to sweeping water views without ever leaving your pillow. Step through the doors onto your private balcony, and the lake unfolds before you in breathtaking waves. It is, quite simply, the kind of view that justifies indulgence. Full-length mirrors, too, feel like an unexpected luxury here. Of course, nature occasionally reminds you that you are still very much in its domain. Small gaps beneath the doors may invite the occasional spider, lizard, or impressively large ant inside. My advice? Spare the lizards. They are allies, not intruders. Quiet guardians that graciously handle the less welcome pests.
Maybe I should let you go. Something about you feel like home. Stuck in my head like a theory to sink and fight it. I just sing along, don't care what they say. Our love is different. I like it. Watching from a distance, I'm trying to keep
And with that, it's time for me to bid you adieu and fully embrace my best lake life. Stay curious, be inspired, find freedom, wander elsewhere. I'll see you in the next one.